Hello everyone, this is Duran's Healing and welcome to tonight's Healing Circle. For those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel where I provide weekly energetic updates for the collective. And as I began to blaze this fire tonight, gather around and contribute your very powerful energy. Whether it be a like, a share, subscribe, or comment below to let me know how these messages are showing up in your world. And with that being said, let's jump right into the stones to see what the higher energy has in store for us tonight. And the message that's speaking the loudest is coming from your spirit guides, your ancestor team, or your higher team, and they're bringing attention to your role as a healer, a conduit, a messenger from the other side. This is quite unique or quite powerful because of the bell that's showing up here. It's as if they're saying you're already alerted to your positioning. But at this current time in the cosmos, they're saying there's something highly attractive about the spiritual side of you. The spiritualness of your energy, and it is drawing in the crowd. The more you embrace this side of yourself, the more that you honor and lean in on your spirit, people are coming in or being pulled into your energy. And it's due to the stone here, your Wedame stone. The animal kingdom, the wild side of you that tends to be brought out when you lend your body to the spirit. When you lean on your spirituality, the free flowingness that you have with your connectivity to the cosmos, to your connectivity to the spirit world. The dichotomy between your energies, the complexity that you are tends to lean whichever way you put your energy towards. But your healing capacity is where this is showing up at the most. The freedom part of yourself. And I can see here that this is what the people are most intrigued by. There is a similarity. There is a registration here. Almost like the DMV. In order for people to get going with their identification, to get going on the road, they must register their car. They must get their license. They must come in to the DMV or the Department of Motor Vehicle Services in order for them to actively and legally take off. But it's working the same way when you lean into your spirit. Lean into the wild side of you. And people are coming in to check in with you as if you're this verification point. Spiritual services that people must come in and check in with. The lines are filled up by 8 o'clock. The lines get packed. It's not necessarily that people love the DMV. No, it's something that they're required to do. And it's because of the pureness of your energy and the frequency that you're vibrating on makes you like a checkpoint that is drawing in the crowds where people feel as if they must come to you or be pulled to you in order to verify their services. Oh, you are the one. You and your energy are so different. And so it's not just difference, it's the validity of your frequency that is making you this checkpoint service. Though this energy is highly attractive and drawing in the crowd, there's something else happening here in the undercurrent. It's as if something in your hard drive, in your system, tends to warp itself out, tends to malfunction, or gets overstimulated when you stay too long around people, around the crowd. Because there's a unique sequence of events going on here. Because your personal medicine is showing up next to your intimate relationship ring, next to your doll that symbolizes you showing face up like you're a deer caught in headlights. And this unique cluster of stones is showing up this way because in order for your personal medicine to show up or to reveal itself, you must be around people. There is an interconnectedness surrounding the reveal of what your personal gift is, and it only shows up when it's in community. However, when you stay too long in community, the malfunction happens, forcing you to retract, to pull back your energy to be able to process this. There is a processing that must take place in order for you to make sense, or for your mind to understand, your body to make sense of what your gift is. Something tells me you understand this about your energy, or if you don't understand, this is something that you may have experienced and always wonder why you cannot stay too long in a crowded event without being overstimulated. You pull back your energy. For some of you, you may have a couple, 1 or 2 or 3 people that you have in your close inner circle where you feel safe, where you feel like you can process all of these compacted and heavy and intense energies, because you know that there is a higher mission that you're following. You're not following the crowd, you're leading them. And in order to lead, you must process these energies, but more importantly, your personal medicine, why you're here and what you're delivering, the gift. Quite uniquely, on the opposite side of this thread of consciousness here, signifying the higher consciousness or the thread that you're following. Your action stone is next to your mountain stone. Next to your personal medicine is the water stone. This lets me know you are very methodical. Your energy may appear to move very chaotically. People may not understand why you behave or move a certain way. But the stones reveal to me that you're very in sync with the systems of the universe and the powerful mechanisms that are in place for you to fulfill this higher mission, or for you to stay on this higher path that you're on. And it has to do with you understanding you're here to deliver your gift for the healing of the consciousness, for the paradigm. It's like your gifts will flow over the community as wisdom. And in order for it to stay wise, you must pull back to properly download all these messages that you are receiving when you come out of the crowd. And the organizational stone is in your head. There is something pragmatic about the way you view energies and the way you see the spiritual side of you integrating with people. You know that this energy will be seen, but it's like you will not allow your energy to be used in a way that's not for the highest good or for its initial purpose. That can easily happen when you amongst the crowd. People want you to join their group. People want you to fulfill their missions because they see the power in you. People may want you to sit there and listen to their problems. People may want you to shift yourself in a way to fit in the group, fit in the current consciousness in a certain way. Of all this tugging and pulling on your energy when you're amongst the crowd keeps you at a certain vibration that you cannot stay in. And you know this. That's why you're very conscious about who and what you engage in and how long you stay in certain environments. Very systemically, very methodically. Doing enough to show up in the social circles, but also taking the proper time to pull back so you can materialize and stay on this higher path. Your energy will not be used other than what it is meant for. And the stones that's next up in this reading is your sophistication stone, your bone to pick, and your mineral. And it's landing you in the earth. The The reason why you're so serious and hold such strong boundaries in terms of the direction you're going and how you're moving and what you choose to involve yourself in is because you know you're grounding something very sophisticated to this planet. And it's because you're very quietly and very consciously picking out the bones, picking through the issues, picking through the circumstances of which you're choosing to engage in. It's like you know your energetic container and what you have to offer and what you have to give. Because the largest part of your energetic hub is focused in on this sophistication that will be grounded to this planet, and the messages that you're receiving, you're funneling it in and sorting it out to see, is this in congruence with my sophistication that I'm here to bring forth? They're here for this larger mission that I'm going to ground. You're sorting out and filtering through all these different energies while also being responsible enough to show up, to show out and pull back, to stay on track. Period. Very powerful message. But there are certain areas here that I do want to pull cards on. I want to know a little bit more about your wild side. What the community is attracted to based on this energy. I also want to know what your personal medicine is about, because it will only show up in community. And the fact that it's here, I get to see more in tune or more in depth about what this is or what you're here to deliver. And I also want to pull on your sophistication, the genius that you will ground to this paradigm. So I will pull some cards on these 3 different stones, and I will run them continuously. So bear with me, guys. I promise I will bring us full circle. So hold on to your seats as I begin to dissect what these 3 stones are about. What is the Wedame stone about for the collective? And in terms of your Wedame, or this wild side stone that's attracting the crowd, the cards that came out were high frequency, parallel universe, create a new paradigm filled by the people around you, and togetherness. And what I'm downloading here is that there is something in your story that has somehow advanced your energy. Something very new, something very current that has propelled your energy out. And this was a long time coming, because what I'm downloading here is that you have been working on yourself tirelessly. So much so your frequency has advanced itself so much it has touched a universe that's running parallel to this one. You may have been living in an environment, in a state, and something about a veil I'm seeing here. You may not have integrated yourself with this particular group of people, even if they were in your backyard. It's like you could not see these people because of where you were. Now that your frequency has elevated, the veil has dropped, and you're now seeing or interacting or coming into contact with people who were right next door to you, vibrating on the same wavelength, the same energy, the same wild side of you. These quiet things that you were doing in your private corners, the things you were doing that fulfilled your spirit. You thought you were alone, but now that the veil has dropped, as you step outside, it's making you like a magnet, attracting people wondering, where did you come from? And you're saying, I've been here all along. Parallel universe. And the reason why you were stuck in this vibration or behind the veil is because you are working through some issues surrounding community, family is what I'm seeing. Something here that has let you down, that has failed you energetically. Yeah, this was very difficult for you, and you were quietly working through that. You may not have wanted to put this energy off on other people or make it their responsibility. You wanted to gain or extract the wisdom from your experience and go through what you needed to go through so you can get your lessons. But now, by God, you have got your lessons. The veil has dropped, unleashing a otherworldly universe that was right next door to you, and you're bridging the gap. And people are now finally able to come in contact and come together on a very practical level with the energy like yours. It's like they were deeply thirsting for a vibration like yours. What I'm seeing here in this other universe, people have been living and doing the same things. They were missing a key component, which was a highly elevated energy to help them rise above their circumstance. People have been circulating around each other, doing their eclectic or unique things. I'm not particularly sure what this is, so please let me know how this is showing up in your world. But what I'm seeing is that you guys were all doing the same type of things, but the energy behind it was very different. You were healing, cleansing out your wounds to help rise you up, because you are indeed spiritual. You are indeed on a different path. But it was for a higher purpose. It was for you to create a new paradigm. And now that the militia or the community is here, you can start to see why you were doing, or why you went through what you went through, why you were failed by the people around you, so that you can gain a certain level of knowledge. And now you can usher up the people in this other parallel universe that you are now coming in contact with to a higher level. Togetherness. This is very unique and very abstract. What I'm seeing here, that is why you're this access point. That's why it's not there. It's because of the healing work that you've done on yourself. You didn't know that this is what it was for, but soon enough, if you're not here yet, you will see why. And for those of you who are here, you are starting to see why. You had to go through what you went through for you to get here. Period. Very interesting message surrounding the wild side of you and why people are attracting to your energy. And next I'm going to go to your personal medicine, because ultimately this is the delivery of your gifts to the people. And the cards that came out were release fear, set boundaries, turmoil, finding solution, and encyclopedia. And what I'm downloading here in terms of your personal gift is that even in the midst of all that you have gone through, you had to do two key things. You learned that you had to release fear and you had to set boundaries in order for you to get out of the tumultuous energies that were surrounding you. You could not elevate and you did not know why. But somehow, ringing on this last download that I picked up on was people failed you. You didn't know why you stayed in a certain cycle. You didn't know why you were on this recurring loophole. But something in the cards have aligned and said that you had to get the lesson about releasing fear. Your mission is much larger, and the fear was holding you back. The conditionings of your experience was keeping you vibrating on a certain level, allowing people to plummet and pillage through your energy. You were much greater than that. And you had to learn how to set up these boundaries and standards, not only for yourself, but for your spiritual body. to break out of the cocoon, to break out of this web of turbulence. And you had to find the solution, because finding solutions came out. You found the solution to help you advance and to elevate yourself. It's because of your wittiness and your intelligence. Though you're very spiritual and you can understand that your mind cannot go certain places that your spirit can, but you can also account for what your intelligence has got you out of. You were just smarter. You just knew better. Because there's this unique energy or collaboration you have with the spirit. It's like there is an understanding surrounding your knowledge. And when you see cycles and when you see certain energies, your mind, your body, your spirit taps into the encyclopedia of this behavior, and it taps you into this chart of where it comes from. What's the historical facts behind it? You can see it's like a note for those of you who are in the nursing field, social work field, or the social sciences. You know how to document behaviors. And even if this client is new to you, you can look back into the notes and see what has happened over the course of the history of this patient or this client. It has worked the same way for you when you interact with people or through this very experience that you have gone through. Lo and behold, by you doing this over a course of time, this has developed or cultivated your gift. And you can call a judgment well in advance, because something in your energy, the gift that you have, can read the historical note surrounding this person. Not only that, the behavior and where it comes from, and who was the architect of identifying, qualifying, and quantifying what this is. And you move around it. Not only that, you can educate others of how to navigate around certain energies. And I can see this even growing on a macro level. You can understand how communities work. When people are being shortchanged, why certain populations are being taken advantage of. You can surveillance the historical context of a land, of a population, of a demographic, and you can say, oh, this was the history of this group of people, and I can understand what's happening in this current day. And not only that, you educate, you consult of how to be better and how to be less harmful to certain groups, certain people, certain populations, so that you're working together and not against one another. A higher light, a higher consciousness, the delivery of your gift, period. We are working through these very powerful energies. But nonetheless, it's about the grounding of your sophistication, grounding it to this paradigm, the genius of what you're here to bring, the sophistication. And the cards that came out in terms of your sophistication stone were Truth Teller, Adams, Real, Refusing to Suffer, Ground You Walk On, and Restoration. And what I'm downloading here is that there was great suffering in your experience because you told the truth. You would have thought you was mass murderer. You were out here plummeting through the community, creating great harm on society by the way you were castrated by simply telling the truth. It's because you saw through people. You saw through energies, and no lies went untold without you lifting the veil. of these energies that attempted to gaslight you in your very own experience. Some of you have gone through this your entire life, even as a child, experiencing gaslighting of someone or people around you, because I'm running on this card, failed by the people around you, telling you that what you saw wasn't real, what you were experiencing wasn't the truth. But the atoms that were running through the cosmos surrounding the energy of these beings revealed to you the energetic frequency of these beings, and you were able to call it like you saw it. Very real. You may have been very wise even as a child. An old soul is what I'm seeing here, but this has caused you great suffering by always telling the truth. Did you not know you were supposed to be quiet while all these things were going on? You didn't know that there was a larger system running that was trying to keep these things in place, even if it caused harm. There was a inner darkness or inner energy that was running systems for their own benefit, and you saw it even on a macro level. You saw it on all planes, all dimensions, in social circles, in your family system, in your work environment. You may have been agitated a great deal of your life, irritated, vexed, like you were the only one seeing it. It's because your vision was so in tune with the vibration of the planet that you walked on. It's like the feet, your feet, the soil and your feet coming together sink you in on an energetic frequency of Mother Earth. Nurturing truth, nurturing belongingness, nurturing a home for people to come into, and anything outside of this vibration, you saw it for what it was. You saw the misalignment, and you're here to restore balance. That's your genius. That's your sophistication, and that's why it's landing in the earth. Restoring things back to the truth, restoring hope back to the village. Restoring real in a world full of fake. And that comes with great consequence. And you know that now. And you say, game on. Game on. Because you know the truth of the matter now that you're an adult. Now that you have maturated. Now that you're no longer a child. You do not think as a child. You see the world for what it is. You see the cosmos for what it is. And you see your place in the universe for what it is. A great scientist. A genius bringing forth restoration to this planet. Bringing the real back. Period. To hell with what they say. You're here for a larger purpose, and no one is going to get in the way of that. I told you guys I was going to bring you back full circle. I got you. Thank you all for joining me in tonight's healing circle. Very large and powerful message, and if you stayed thus far, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, or comment below to let me know how these messages have shown up in your world. And with that being said, I'm going to come down and close out tonight's healing circle, and I will see you all at the next